Hello and welcome to Healthy Mind, Healthy Life with your host Avik. This podcast is all about exploring the latest research, sharing personal stories, and providing personal tips for improving our mental health and well-being. Each episodes will be joined by experts in the field of mental health, as well as individuals who have experienced the transformative power of a healthy mind firsthand. Together, we will dive into a range of topics from managing stress and anxiety to building resilience and cultivating happiness. So, join us on this journey to discover new ways to take care of our minds, bodies, and souls. And let's work together to create a healthier, happier world one episode at a time. So, let's get started. Hello and welcome to Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. I'm your host Avik, and today we are joined by Mark Kohl. So, welcome to the show, Mark.
Thanks for having me.
Great. So, Mark, before we start our conversation today, because today we'll be talking about something great topic, which is about wellness, where we will explore the benefits of frequency camps. So, but before we delve deep into this topic, I would love to mention this to all of our listeners that Mark is the founder of Frequency Caps, a visionary company integrating psychedelics with sound healing for holistic wellness. So his journey from addiction to pioneering in the wellness industry is a testament to the resilience and the innovation. So why to wait? Let's join us as we explore the transformative power of alternative healing and the future of mental health treatment with one and only Mark. Welcome to the show, Mark, again.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Great.
Thanks
So,
for having
Mark,
me.
to start with, if you can share with us the inspiration behind founding Frequency Caps and at the same time, how it integrates psychedelics with sound healing.
Okay, well, I guess it all starts with um, my career. I was in the U.S. here. I
Mhm.
was a very uh, uh, I had a very long career. I still do as a director and cinematographer in the motion picture and commercial television world.
Mhm.
Um, I started around age 20, and I had about a 30-year career of that. Very stressful, very exciting, very innovative type a world. Constant change, lots of travel, everything. Lots of hustling.
Mhm.
Nothing was ever the same. So it was very exciting. Met lots of different people. Got to travel the world. Very much of an entrepreneur
Yeah.
type of company I had. I built it up. Was fairly successful out of Florida. Um, but along the way, to relieve stress, and it
Mhm.
was also a time of here in America. It's alcohol is a very common way to de-stress.
Yeah.
Our lives here were, capitalistic country. We're very I guess aggressive and innovative, and we're always hustling and obviously highly creative, and with that comes high levels of stress. Um, and the most common way and culturally that
Mhm.
we deal with stress in America is we have bars. We have lots of bars, and
Mhm.
the entertainment industry is known for its high addiction rate of the creative mind
Yeah.
and the stressful type of lifestyle that leads. And this is decades ago when it was
Mhm.
very common. It's dwindling a little bit. Thank God. I think that's a blessing. But overall, Americans, in the '90s and early 2000s, even '80s and before, of course,
Mhm.
we have daily bars with happy hours and hotels with bars, and even on airplanes and wherever airport lounges and everything, alcohol is considered normal.
Yeah.
So alcohol works very well, very quickly to calm the mind, and everybody has a good time. Of course, in excess, it
Mhm.
becomes very toxic, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of unconsciously started to fall into that world and be a part of it a lot. And I come from a line of I really don't like labels so much, but
Mm.
um, my family has a lot of addiction in the past in it, alcoholism mostly, and so I kind of carried that trait, I guess, if you will, and had a good solid 10-year battle with
Mm.
alcohol. I like to say alcohol starts with fun, and then it becomes fun with problems, and then it just becomes problems. So, um, I had, like I said, about a 10-year period where it was just problems, and
Mm.
it was something that was very difficult to overcome in the traditional methods in Western medicine. I did the standard Alcoholics Anonymous. I went to lots of therapy, did lots of different yoga. I did
Mm.
all kinds of different things, but none of them seemed to stick up until around 10 years ago. I haven't had a drink. I'm coming up on my 10th anniversary of no alcohol in my life, and I have not relapsed into that world since. But I found plant medicine about 9 years ago, and there's many different types of plant medicine, but most of them was psychedelic plant medicine. Ayahuasca, I started with doing ceremony work, and then I started to discover that the mind is very tricky. The mind is not what we think it is, and psychedelic therapy and ceremonies
Mm.
started to show me the infinite aspects of the mind. And I went down that rabbit hole, if you will, and was
Mm.
fascinated with it. And I started to kind of crack the code of what
Mm.
I thought reality was. And I started to see what was really going on inside. And then I developed a practice around that. Um, Psychedelics mixed with some other things such as Kundalini yoga, breath work, and whatever. But
Mm.
I started to see that it was really the way of self discovery of really what the issues were around the alcohol. Alcohol is just the medicine to escape the real issue. We're just putting a band aid on it when we stop drinking. When we remove our addictive chemical, um, there's still the issue at hand. So we have a saying: what happens when you sober up a bunch of drunken horse thieves? You still have horse thieves, right? So
Okay.
you have to address that issue. And psychedelics helped me find my way to the real core issues of what was really going on. Most things, and we work with hundreds, if not thousands, of people that we've worked with over the years. But through that journey, about 7 years ago, I started my own medicine.
Mm.
I started growing psychedelic mushrooms, and through lots of personal experience, and then working with others for now almost 9 8 9 years now, we have seen tremendous results, tremendous progress in
Yeah.
this God-given substance that exists in nature.
Okay.
So that's how we started. Yeah.
Wow. That's a huge journey. Thanks for sharing this. Yeah. So, I mean, how do you, if you can share, like, how do psychedelics and sound healing complement each other in Frequency Cap's approach to the holistic wellness?
Yeah. So what makes us stand out? Well, I mean, psychedelics in general is a very big
Mm.
conversation, obviously. So traditional methods, and there's many, by the way.
Mm.
There's thousands and thousands of psychoactive plants that have been used in religions and spiritual modalities for since the
Yeah.
beginning of man, to connect us to the infinite, to what people
Mm.
refer to as God, or the scientists, the quantum field. or deep inside our own psyche and our own being. The mystics say that there's many rooms of the mansion that you've never been in, and referring to the brain and psilocybin in particular goes into the 2A receptor system of the brain and pretty much goes everywhere. It goes into parts of the brain that they actually don't even know what they are. And in these journeys, if you will, we reach deep into these rooms that we've never been in and find out so much about ourselves, our past, our potential future, and all of that. So what makes us stand out is somewhat is sound. And I study Kundalini yoga. And Kundalini yoga is a very ancient practice, but it's based in sound currents. It's based in vibration. And we know that, and science is just scratching the surface of this, but we all know now that pretty much everything is vibration. Everything is a frequency. Everything is moving, string theory, etc. And they're moving at, different vibrations. Thought is vibration, right? Our bodies, each individual cell that is alive has a frequency to it. Every thought has a frequency to it, right? So, every waveform in nature has information attached to it. So what information is inside these waveforms is, can vary. If I'll use music as an example, different tones in music give us different emotions. And that's the data that's inside of the waveform of that particular sound frequency, right? We get emotional with certain songs, or we get very tense or frightened with certain sounds, right? And so what we've discovered is in combination, I don't know if your viewers are familiar with what we call sound baths or sound healings, but there's many instruments in native cultures, especially in the South American jungle and even, Native Americans. I'm not exactly sure in India what they are, but I'm obviously there is some, but, the chanting of Om is basically a representation of the frequency of the earth, right?
Exactly.
I think it's 12 octaves higher than the what we call the Schumann frequency, which is I think it's 7.83 whatever hertz. So the frequency of the earth is, considered right around 432. Ohm is anyway, and that's tuning into the frequency of the earth, which coincidentally is also the frequency of the brain, right? So what we do with our mushrooms, which are sentient beings, is that we grow them in a sound chamber that vibrates these different frequencies of the chakras, these different frequencies of earth, of nature, of all healing frequencies that we've discovered. And we have this long sound loop that we play that gets, basically gets all of the fiber and the water and all the material inside of the fruiting body of the mushroom into that frequency. So, like I'd like to make the analogy that if we have identical twin human beings that have the same DNA, and one of them grows up in a ghetto type environment, and another one grows up in a very loving household, they will look the same and they will have the same DNA structure, but they will be very different vibrational beings, emotionally, mentally, physically, right? Because of the environment. And that's exactly how what we're doing is different. So when incorporated in many of these psychedelic ceremonies with mushrooms and psilocybin and psilocin and other terpenes and what we call the entourage effect, we combine that. Other facilitators, we do as well, but we also provide medicine to many other facilitators, many of which who are sound healers. And in these ceremonies, when we're under the influence of the psychedelic mushroom that we provide for them, they
Hmm.
play these sounds with crystal bowls. They do chanting, and it activates the frequencies, and it tunes in the mind and the experience, much like you would tune a musical instrument. So you get a much different vibrational healing, if you will.
Got it. Got it. So, what safety measures are in place to ensure the responsible use of psychedelics in frequency caps treatments?
Say that one more time.
Yeah, what kind of safety measures are already in place just to ensure that the use of psychedelics in frequency caps treatments?
Oh, yeah, yeah, understood. Well, it's not just our medicine. There's many medicines around. One of the things we're combating is, there's a lot of big corporations who are getting involved in this
Mm.
business, and they're not growing products with intention. They're, growing for money. They grow in warehouses. They grow in very low vibrational environments. So the product that the fruiting body and the product that they're doing is synthesized. A lot of times, it's it's not grown with intention. So there's a lot of medicine that is somewhat toxic out there. It also, they they use fertilizers and chemicals
Mm.
to grow the fruiting body, and mushrooms, unlike plants, mostly you spray that sort of thing on the soil underneath them and on the
Correct.
plant itself, where mushrooms are like sponges. They actually suck it into the fiber deep inside. So, there's a lot of toxicity in the essence of it, but also in the actual fiber. But moving forward, to answer your question, this is something that, no matter where medicine is sourced, be it synthesized, be it extracted, anything like that, these molecules are very powerful if not used properly, right? So we obviously we recommend that people work with a very skilled practitioner, a doctor, a shaman that has vast knowledge of experience in these realms. There's a term we use over and over again here in the U.S., especially. I hear it. I don't know about the rest of the world,
Yeah.
but we call it the set and the setting. And what we're referring to is the mindset of the individual and the environment, the setting of the ceremonial practice that is being used. So this is very important for safety. It's we make sure that our customers, and I'm saying this in a general statement overall, that people are because most people are struggling with some sort of an addiction, addictive behaviors, addictive chemicals, addictive thoughts. Worry is an addictive thought. We do it so many times over and over again. Our brains become wired for it, which makes it habitual. Drama, just a poor sense of self, whatever it is. We encourage people to begin journaling, several weeks before, and dieting, making sure the vessel is clean as possible. It's free of as many chemicals as possible. Toxic foods, sugars, obviously any type of alcohol or illicit drugs or pharmaceuticals of any kind. And then their mindset. We encourage people to be as meditative as possible, not listen to the news, not be around people that trigger them, so that the mind is as calm and clean as possible. And then the setting is set by the facilitator. So the setting is, a space that is quiet, usually in nature, away from, distractions, noise, anything that can take somebody out of their journey, and a skilled, safe facilitator that can guide and be there to monitor people as they go through their journey. So those are very important safety measures, and not only are they safe, they to create safety, they also create a much better result. When you're in a safe mindset with intention, you think about what are you looking to gain from this experience? What are you looking to let go? What fears are you hanging on to? What purpose are you looking for in life? These are part of the practices that of self-discovery that are that's the whole reason we do these things. Most of what I see is that most people are lacking purpose, or they don't know purpose. Why are they here? What is the meaning? Why do they get out of bed in the morning? What is their role in humanity for the collective? So these are some of the answers that come up in these journeys. And once we find meaning in life, like Viktor Frankl talks about it, is man's meaning is we find happiness, because then once we know why we're here, or what our purpose is, then we have a direction to move forward in. Because I firmly believe that we're not just here to exist, to be consumers. That works well for big business and government to, run around and consume things, purchase things, buy things, eat, just go eat, but have no real direction or purpose that we serve for the collective of humanity. If we don't really have a grasp on what that could be or what that might be, we're lost. And when we're lost, we drink too much, we eat too much, we become very fearful of death. We are confused. We're just a boat floating in the ocean with no sail or rudder. We're just floating, but we're not going anywhere. So psychedelics help with finding meaning and finding purpose. And when we do that, we also release fear, and fear is what holds us back. And fear is also what creates worry and anxiety. They all come back down to fear. And usually it's the fear of death. So if we can eliminate, or minimize the fear of death and find purpose in life, life is very different, very, very different, very, very quickly. And addictions usually go away very quickly, and the brain starts to rewire itself for a new life moving forward. And we've seen it over and over and over again, and it's absolutely beautiful. So, yeah.
Lovely, really lovely. So, how do you see frequency caps evolving in the future, and what kind of impact do you hope to make in the wellness industry?
Well, it's I guess, one of the things that happened to me personally was I lost purpose. I didn't know my purpose, and I certainly do now. By healing myself with these medicines, my purpose, which obviously is the company's purpose, is to get the medicine to people who need it. Rumi says, what you're seeking is seeking you. And I know there's millions of people that are seeking this, and we're wanting to create awareness, education, for people to be able to see that Mother Earth has had these medicines since the beginning of time, and then we're here to help them find it. That's really our mission, in a very safe and educated way, to find people to be able to help themselves. And it's not a real good business model in a lot of sense, because when people do the work, they get the medicine and they do the work and they stay on track, they really don't need us anymore. So it's actually the opposite of standard pharmaceutical drugs, which makes you rely on them every day, if you will, for the rest of your life. And that's by design. I'm not saying that antidepressants and other things aren't necessary. They do work for some people that have severe, mental illnesses and whatnot. But we've seen some pretty miracle things happen with very severe addiction and very severe mental illness, and people have come out of it, with these natural medicines as well. But for us to help people basically save their life and break their addictions and prevent suicides and misery for the rest of their life, which is passed down generationally. So we break generational traumas. We break, we pretty much, people grow up as they were brought up, and then they bring up their families the same way, and it goes on and on and on. These traumas are just, passed down from generation to generation. So if we can break, one generation, the people downstream from that family are very different. So it's a massive amount of impact to humanity when we do that. When you change the world by changing the thinking of the population. It all comes from thought, and so many of our thoughts are illusions, and we create them. And as the Buddhists say, we create our own misery, but we can also create our own happiness, and that's where the real change in the world is. And it goes one individual at a time, and that's what we're doing, and that's our mission. And we just want to support people that are struggling, which is pretty much almost every human being that is standing on planet Earth right now is struggling right now. We're in a very, very difficult time of control and fear and wars and economic disasters and hate. We're not born with these things. We're taught these things. And if we can teach the world that we're all connected, and we can teach our children there is no such thing as racism or hate. We're taught with these things, and we break these patterns. We have a very, very different world, and that's right now it's an epidemic, and it's really literally the survival of humanity and the prevention of humanity from destroying itself.
True.
So that's a big mission. We're a very small boutique company, but we can only help so many people at a time. But we're also struggling against local laws, and these things are changing. How they support small operations that are doing things on a very organic level is still up in the air. Big business cannot own the intellectual property of a mushroom or an apple or anything that exists in nature, so they have to come up with their own way of synthesizing it or extracting it or something to be able to capitalize on it. Where we're not about any of that, obviously. So this is a big there's a lot of obstacles ahead, but there's also a lot of promise ahead. So it's a very exciting time. I think we're definitely at a fork in the road of between light and dark. Which way are we going to go? And that's up to us. We're just trying to create the awareness for people to make their own decision and decide which fork in the road they want to take. So.
Understood. Great. So, great. Thank you so much. As we come to the end of this enlightening episode, I definitely want to extend a sincere thank you to Mark for sharing his insights and expertise with us. So, dear listeners, like Mark's innovative approach to holistic wellness through frequency caps offers a fascinating glimpse into the future of mental health treatment. So, by integrating the psychedelics with sound healing, Mark is pioneering a path towards healing and the transformation. So always remember that the journey to the wellness is ongoing, and whether through alternative healing modalities like frequency caps or other holistic approaches, there are countless paths to unlocking wellness and living a fulfilling life. So thank you everyone for joining us on this journey, and be sure to subscribe to Healthy Mind and Healthy Life for more empowering conversations and insights to support your well-being. So until next time, may you continue to unlock wellness and thrive in all aspects of your life. So till then, thank you so much.
Thank you.